Welcome back to Disattractions. This is episode 7. We're here. We've made it. It is episode 7, right?
It is episode 7. You are right, Brett.
Heck yeah. This is God's number. So
Yes.
today we are talking about the gods. That kind of works a little bit. I don't know. Hey, welcome back, guys. My name's Brett. You know me. If you've watched this episode already, thanks Aunt Bertha. I don't have an Aunt Bertha, but thank you.
You're really good at intros, Brett. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of Disattractions, episode 7. That's right, the 7th one. Brett's having an aneurysm. Well, he's having an aneurysm. Welcome back. But this time you're seeing 3 faces instead of 2 because we have our first guest on the entire Disattractions podcast.
Oh, first one.
The first one ever.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm Kevin. He's Brett, obviously. You know him.
Yes. Sorry that I just did the worst intro.
You're good. And I'll have the guest take away on exactly who he is.
Hello, I am JJ. How am I going about this? How I know you guys?
Sure. Yeah, just whatever you want to talk about yourself, and you can also do all your plugging if you want to as well. At the end.
I met Brett and Kevin through the Disney College program. We all worked in Mission Space. We had a lovely time.
3 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
3 years ago. I think today, right? 3 years ago today.
it's
Almost. Actually, you're not wrong. I met you on the 31st.
Yep.
That's crazy. Whoa! Anniversary episode.
Hey.
JJ, have you ever told you the story of how I met Brett?
I don't think so.
So I met Brett before I even got to Mission Space. We were at the Disney, they had the get together for all new CP hires, and I'm walking down to the conference room at Flamingo Crossing, and we go in the room and we're separated into each of our attractions, and we're standing with, it was me, Allison, and Brett. And then I asked Brett, I was like, I've never been on the Skyliner before. Would you want to go to the Skyliner with me? Just point blank. And he's like, I got nothing going on. So it just clicked, and that's how that happened.
Yeah.
I love
and it was
this.
really funny because at one point we're on the Skyliner, and I dug through my backpack and I pulled out a Bowtie Jones.
I know, that was crazy.
You were like, what are you doing?
I love Bowtie Jones.
Wait. Can I bring Bowtie Jones out?
Yeah,
That
of course.
should
Well,
be
now you have to show it after you
100th
explain it.
episode special or 50th episode special or something.
Oh yeah, when are we doing a Bowtie Jones theme park, Brett? There he is.
I
Bowtie
love
Jones.
him. I miss him so much.
There he is. Your son.
Flips in the picture of him at Mission Space.
Yeah.
This is Bowtie Jones.
When
Yeah,
are we
Bowtie
doing
Jones
an
has been
episode
in
of
Mission Space.
Disattractions on him? On him?
Walter's Wonderland?
On
We
Wonderland.
could.
Wonderland.
Yeah. He actually lost a tooth in Florida. Fun.
Oh no.
He's only
Bad
one
dental
tooth now.
plan. Did you does he not have a good health insurance policy?
Of course not. He worked at Disney.
That's true.
Ooh. I remember we did,
Let's continue
The
this
watch
Disney shade that we're keep giving.
Yeah.
the mini watch party for Walter's Wonderland, and all of us are sitting there like, what is happening right
Brett
now?
looked so happy that day. He's like, "This is
He
my
was
work."
so and he had all of them just strewn throughout the room. It was fantastic.
That was so.
day.
The Brett Scott Film Festival was really fun. That was a good time.
So, kind of on the topic for today, we have decided to pick. Actually, we didn't decide. We thought it'd be a good idea because JJ is very, very passionate about a certain book series, and I'll have him take it away with an intro on what you want to say about it because you're wearing the merch, you have the cosplay going.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Hell yeah,
Oh, yeah.
literally hell yeah.
Hey,
I only had like
Hades
Aries, yeah.
points, you know,
Hades moment.
various points, not the whole thing.
Right. Discuss your whole past with it, because I'm sure you have a very, very filled past with Percy Jackson.
Filled.
Filled. I don't know what other
Kinda.
word to use.
Just a little bit. So it started in around middle school. I had read through the book series and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything like super special to me at the moment. Because I was also in the process of reading the Kingdom Keeper series, and that has been the obsession of my life for like ever. It wasn't until later, like I had seen the Percy Jackson movies too, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." Actually, I'm lying to myself. Not good, like Brett said earlier. Um, kind of bad. Um, but then it got into later high school, and I started rereading the series again, a whole series, and then Heroes of Olympus, and I was like, "These are really well done. I really enjoy it." And it was around that time that I figured out that I wanted to be an anthropology major and archaeology major. I really like classical Greek studies and such, and so that became a new obsession. And from then on, it was cosplay the characters, go to conventions, be obsessed with it in every way possible because I'm an adult and I have my own money.
Yes.
There, it just spiraled, you know. And the show was good. I love the show and can't wait for season 2. And very
The
excited to
season
talk
2
about
got greenlit, right?
it's in production right now. I think it's in
Lit.
post production.
Ooh. I better not use any AI, so it gets into some stupid controversy.
Dude, Disney's
I
been
hope
using
not.
it a little bit here and there. Have you heard about all that stuff?
Yeah.
For an animation company, they animated something for what it was. There was some animation they used that was AI. For it being an animation company, who has the staff to do it.
Yikes.
I saw it I forgot what it was specifically.
Big oof.
Yeah, it checks out. I'm trying to think. What was your experience with Percy Jackson, Brett?
So I was obsessed with the book series in third to fourth grade. And it was my personality in third to fourth grade. I wore the shirts I talked about all the time. I literally had like the side books. I was like, here's the guide to everything you need to know about Mount Olympus or whatever. And then like I started reading the Red Pyramid at one point. Um, that's been years ago now. But like I haven't read them since elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got excited for the new series that came out because, you know, the movies were just absolute dog doo-doo garbage sauce. But I haven't finished the series yet just because, like, at that time of my life, things got kind of busy and chaotic, and it was just kind of there. But I watched the first one, and I remember being like, yeah, it seems like they actually did it decently this time. So I'm excited to dive into this, to have some nostalgia again. I'm sure after this episode, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I got to finish the series, you know?
Yeah. And then, of course, you have me with, I feel like every single topic we've been covering. You know, Brett goes on this long, long tangent of, like, film prowess. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, I did the thing. I did it. But
Yeah.
I watched the 2010 movie. I read the first book in, like, third grade. I actually remember going to, picking it up at one of the Scholastic book fairs that came by at my school. And I read it then. And I'm sure it probably led to somewhere where my interest in mythology probably rose from, because I love mythology. That's one of my favorite things, and so learning more about it, I think that's probably one of the core things. But again, I'm compared to these two guys, I'm sure I'm not at all comparable to knowledge about it. So I did do research though, so I was learning a little bit at least.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be a walking encyclopedia. It's been 10 plus years, so I'm probably a little rusty, but
So
I'm
that's why
still
we have
here.
JJ. He's the master.
Yeah.
And so it's the perfect
JJ,
time
JJ,
to do a Percy Jackson episode.
JJ ain't rusty, you know?
JJ spends his whole life
JJ
reading
ain't rusty.
mythology and books on ancient Greek and other thing history for fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, there's something different about mythology that just the storytelling is absolutely just uncomparable. I feel like to me, I feel like it. It's really cool. Very creative, and so we've come up with a whole entire game plan as per usual, our normal MO of all the ideas for the theme park attractions, that we have, and so. To start off, we usually start talking about the complete area of the lands or what we're talking about. And what better area to do that than Camp Half-Blood. I don't know you could do anything else with that series, but yeah, Camp Half-Blood is what we came up with. If you guys want to elaborate more specifics on that, or Go ahead and take it
mean,
away.
You want to go? Go ahead. I'll let you go first, Brett.
I will say, I mean, this is a pretty self-explanatory. I mean,
No, it's not.
that's
It's
the
really,
first thing
really
we
hard.
came up with. Is like we're like, what's a world for Percy Jackson? Yeah, Camp Half-Blood, because it is their Hogwarts. It's absolutely the thing where they go to it and you're like, oh man, I want to visit Camp Half-Blood, even though it's under peril half the time. That'd be so fun, you know. And again, you just want to go play capture the flag with people who could beat you up. Camp Half-Blood. There you go.
The big flagship area. It's the big home. The Hogwarts, the Magic Kingdom for the Kingdom Keepers. It's their home location. What better, more iconic area than that?
Yeah.
What I think I like about Camp Half-Blood compared to Hogwarts is it's just so humble. You know what I mean? It's such a humble idea rather than a whole entire Victorian style castle with all this grandeur versus like it's like summer camp. I don't know, it's something that's very humble, and I think that's what I like about it.
Even though they're gods.
Even though they're
which
like
is
probably even more powerful than wizards. Like, like you know what I mean? Like they're
Percy Jackson versus Harry Potter. I want it. It's like
oh,
versus
you know
Godzilla.
Poseidon's absolutely destroying Voldemort. What
Yeah,
about
like,
nothing? What's he
I
gonna do?
gotta-
Turn into a snake?
With a snap of a finger, Voldemort's gone and the series is over.
Yeah. Just for fun, would you guys have any other ideas, possible ideas that this area could be in elsewhere throughout the entire series?
Smelly Gabe's apartment.
Smelly Gabe's apartment, dude. That's the meet and greet. Smelly Gabe meet and greet.
You could really pull some interesting one. You could say Yancey Academy, which is the first school that Percy attends. New Rome, which is where and Camp Jupiter, which is all the Roman stuff. What else could you say? The Lotus Casino.
I was like, just do an adult area to the Lotus Casino. That'd be kind of fun.
It's just a casino.
Yeah, it's literally just a casino and you gamble.
It's a Percy Jackson theme somehow.
It is. And somehow, some way, if you don't know what Percy Jackson is, even before we started talking about it, it's a book series. That is, hold on, I got the information. I'm sure you know this. You can just honestly, JJ, take it away. Who is written by and everything.
Percy Jackson was written by Rick Riordan. There is 7. 5.
There's 5 original
in the main
books, right?
series, and then like 5 in Heroes of Olympus, 5 or 6 as well. Most of it follows Perseus Jackson, who's the son of Poseidon and Sally Jackson, the best mama in books by far.
Best mama. Hashtag best mama. That's a hashtag
Even
we're rolling around. Not for the greatest reasons, though. That's going to turn south fast. But also notice, Brett, you took off your beanie.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, it's on the back of your head. Oh, you're real Portland now, dude. You have it only on the tip back of your head.
Wait, should I do it more? Like,
It's. I didn't even notice it was so back. Anyways, side tangent.
Okay.
Continue.
It also follows Grover, who is their satyr friend, and Annabeth Chase, who is a daughter of Athena. And they go on their little adventures and quests as the gods tell them what to do and bully them into doing things, and end up saving the world several times.
That checks out so much for mythology, because like in every single like mythological story, just the gods are they're so annoying. Like they just say, okay, do this, go do that, and then they just have 5 kids with 7 different people, and then they just like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go get drunk now, and then they.
it's kind of the same thing with Dumbledore and Harry Potter. It's just straight up like, go do these things for me as I go sit here and then get killed.
Yeah. Spoilers. I haven't watched Harry Potter in. I'm kidding.
I think I read a comparison the other day where it's though Zeus likes to hop around a lot, the god with the most children is actually Poseidon. Zeus just likes to, acquire people more.
Acquire people. That's a good word.
But Poseidon can plant the seed, you know?
Yeah, Brett, that's great. Yeah, he's getting out there. I'm not gonna actually finish that statement. I'm just gonna pass over that and
All
move
right,
on
next
to.
topic.
And so, but you're probably all thinking, if you are very much into the know of Percy Jackson, is how can you go into Camp Half Blood if you're not Half Blood?
We talked about this for a long time before we recorded because
Because
it was a very
well, it makes sense. That's the whole point of Camp Half Blood, is that it's only accessible to Half Blood people. Um, so how do you fix that? And so we were talking about it, and think we came up with the idea. Tell me if I'm getting this wrong, but the idea is that somehow, some way, I forget exactly what it was, but something broke the barrier down in between. Was it Zeus? You said, I think it was Zeus, right?
Yeah, like somebody
yeah.
made Zeus mad, so as a retaliation, the walls of Camp Half Blood were hit with the ban hammer, so to speak, for a while.
Hammer. Yeah, and now that that's broken down, you're able to. I guess, maybe they're trying to get. I'm trying to think of, this is my own interpretation of it. Maybe they're trying to get like sympathy, and trying to get votes to put the barrier back up. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else. Finish it. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
So we also kind of felt like I kind of pitched it as being an exercise in capitalism. Is some of the gods were essentially like as boneheaded as they can. They're like, hey, you know what? Let's open up Camp Half Blood for a little bit, and then from merchandising, we'll be able to fund all the things that we need to do. And if someone's like, that's a terrible idea because all the mythical creatures are going to go bonkers, and they're like, yeah, let's try it anyways. What's the worst that could happen? I've seen Jurassic Park. I know how it ends. So then people go into Camp Half Blood, and then havoc happens. Now, that was my pitch. Would this be rejecting some sort of love for the series? I don't know. Is it an interesting idea for a theme park attraction? I think maybe.
Finish off what I was starting off, JJ, because I fumbled that so bad. You take the ending of that. That was bad on my part. Brett, that's a great idea. I love you. All right, moving on to JJ's idea. I love your addiction to capitalism.
I just am saying.
I just love capitalism. I know.
I just love benefiting the 1%.
There you go.
Oh man.
Percy the 1% Jackson.
Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney invades Camp Apple.
And he makes it a democracy again. And you have to allow every single person in, because it's racist to only bring in half-bloods.
You have to also bring in the Romney verse too.
Oh yeah, well that's in the the Romney verse is we'll get down the line, but
In the Poopa
either
42.
somewhere it's a really hard question. The whole entire section of this podcast right now is just basically saying it's really hard to really find a way to make this cohesive story-wise. I think Brett's is really funny, but JJ didn't even get the chance to finish the other half, so you can go ahead and
I'm
finish.
sorry.
You're good. I was like,
So, I think that my original thought process was, after that Zeus banishes the barrier, the camp is like, well, everyone can see us now. Might as well hold this fair to be like, hey, look, we're not here for anything, suspicious. We're just, having a good time. But at the same time, part of the conflict of the land is, now that all the half-bloods are seen, is where all the monsters start to see them and all the other creatures from mythology. So it starts to bring a lot of attention to the camp itself, which leads into some of the other stuff that we have planned.
wait, when I first heard that, that's actually a really good idea. I don't know why that didn't trigger my mind earlier. The whole entire camp is purposefully hiding that it's actually gods and monsters. Like, admit that you're purposefully trying to hide it, and they're trying to pass off as a normal summer camp.
Normal summer
Yeah.
camp with like Greek themes and things.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's our
It's
this.
really actually
Yeah, it's like, oh, this year's theme for the summer camp is just Greek mythology. Oh, they want to do a little tour of our camp, and then you go on the tour, and then all of a sudden it starts becoming real, and it's like, that's actually really cool.
We're doing 80s night tonight.
We're doing what was it? 2016 night, Mitt Romney moment. Was it 2016? It was 2012. It was 2012. 2012 night.
2012 night.
Romney night.
We're doing the Plupa 42 night.
I swear, we bring in too much stuff from the past episodes where people starting on this episode or have no idea what the Plupa 42 is or what in that context is for.
JJ barely knows what the Plupa 42
is. Welcome, JJ. We're gonna talk about the Plupa 42 for 7 hours. Welcome
Fantastic.
in. Okay.
We're just gonna move on for. I think honestly that just right then and there was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. I think you just mentioned, but maybe I totally passed off on our previous conversations. But that's really, really, really cool.
But here's the thing: if they're making it a fair, I'm just saying they were making it a fair, and they're trying to pretend they can still swindle money. Right. They can still try to swindle money from you to pay for stuff.
Yes,
why are you on this rant?
Because the Greek gods are greedy capitalists. And it's time we expose them for being such.
Call them out on X.
On X? X is the worst.
Call out your ex.
What?
So call out your ex.
Call out your ex? Okay.
Because I said X.
Oh, okay.
On X.
Well, who wants to start on that?
Trying to think of like. Obviously, this camp would look very realistic. It's not going to be cartoony or anything like that. It's supposed to be pretty realistic for design-wise, right? You'd think?
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking the movie right now because that's the only thing I'm going off of in my mind right now.
Yeah, I'm saying it's the same setup as like how the camp would be normally, but they're just like, you know how Donald's Dino Bash just kind of like threw stuff at the wall? Yeah, it's just like fairs, summer camp, like random banners and things put up.
You have like water gun games and win like plush centaurs. We go that far.
Honestly, it'd be really funny. It'd be really funny if it was like purposefully like there's like swords like really haphazardly like shoved in a closet or something, and it's like
you can see them falling out.
Yeah.
Well, we also have to still keep with the integrity of Camp Half-Blood, because like it'd be kind of weird if you walked into Hogwarts and then it was like a farmer's market in the middle of Hogwarts.
Dude, are you kidding me? I would love that, dude. You go to church and in the Hogwarts castle, dude. And then you go to then there's like a Chili's at Hogwarts. They have an Applebee's at Camp Half-Blood.
3 for $10. You can get a side of butterbeer.
You can get half price apps at Camp Half-Blood.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess that's just a really funny idea, but I think you're right. It could, if it's gone too far, it could ruin the integrity of the actual idea of the land.
So I do think that it's a fun idea and conceit. We just can't go too far in it being tacky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
It's got to be like there's decorations and stuff like haphazardly put up, but it's not like every single piece of the camp is coded in some form of a gimmick. Like if you go around a building, maybe it's set up how the kids would have it.
Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, I like that idea. And so I guess that completes the whole entire area. Honestly, that was a pretty good segue in. Honestly, I was kind of like. It wasn't very explained on my notes here. It just said Camp Half-Blood, open house, ? Fair ? So, like, that's pretty more solidified. But, of course, we kind of have, two main ideas for rides, as well as one of a half-baked ride. But to start off, we got our Pegasus Sky Tour that we have going on.
Yes.
But it doesn't make sense now that with the idea that they're trying to hide the mythological things. So maybe it's not a sky tour yet, it's just a tour, but while you're in line, something goes awry where you need to get on a Pegasus, and then it turns into later, so it makes more sense thematically.
The
with
centaur
that land.
breaks in, and they're like, "Oh, we need to hide from the centaur." That's a weird looking bear. Okay, we're just gonna
The
drop the
centaur's
act.
a
We're
good
actually
guy
gonna go.
though. The centaur's the
Maybe
good
it's like
guy,
a tour
right?
of the camp from like horseback. So you get on, you go in through the queue and you're going through like a section of the camp, and then you get on like horseback, like it's a horseback trail, and then from there something goes awry where it the kind of what's called the mist, which usually obscures the mythical world from the actual world, kind of skirts out of the way, and you see your horse start to like grow wings on the side, and something goes awry, and then they take off.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like wait, or did I mean? I think I meant to say minotaur, not
Yeah, I was like, why are the centaurs a problem? That's pretty normal
my
at
bad.
Camp Half-Blood.
I'm getting canceled.
Or
from
no
the
one,
podcast.
well, no one gave the centaurs the memo that Camp Half-Blood has accidentally got like no barriers, so they chill up. And they're like, "What's going on, guys?" And everyone's like, all the people
How
are
are they
like,
supposed? How are they supposed to hide? They got half of a butt of a horse. Like that's not
they
something.
they have. That's not the weird part. I feel like the weird part's the man part, not the horse.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all weird, actually. All of it's just weird.
Yeah, I
Fair.
don't know. You could see honestly, probably the Minotaur or something, or like, honestly, you could just have the centaurs only pop up out of nowhere. It's like, oh man, I didn't know that. My bad. My bad. All right, bye. Sorry about
See you
that.
later. Are you still selling those Camp Half-Blood shirts at the gift shop? I need to pick me up one of those.
What are they? $35 now?
Probably.
Make a joke.
They're probably 40 at this point.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Like, I bought a sweatshirt for $70 at Universal Hollywood.
My lovely, lovely girlfriend made this shirt for me.
Aww.
Wow. That's nice.
There you go.
Humble brag.
Humble brag. I got this from Redbubble. My girlfriend done made this. Where'd you get that from, Brett?
I got this when I saw the Smashing Pumpkins in concert.
They're coming by Portland again.
Wait, when?
They come like every couple years. They're coming with Green Day, I think.
That's kind of fun. In February when we're
No,
when I'm
they're
here?
not. It's not them. I would have told you then. It's literally the Smashing Pumpkins. I would have been like, Brett.
Yeah, I would see them again.
Yeah.
Have I ever told you? This is a weird side tangent. Have I ever told you my experience about seeing them in Kansas City? I saw them with my friend Ben, and we had lawn seats, and we were in Arkansas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Arkansas, at least at the time, I don't know if it is now, but at the time, recreational weed use was illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so but Smashing Pumpkins, right?
Right.
So we're chilling there, and people are smoking up their joints, and police officers are coming through and dragging people out of the lawn as they're smoking, as the Smashing Pumpkins were performing. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a vibe.
That's kind of funny.
It was just kind of like this. This seems like the anarchy that's supposed to happen when the Smashing Pumpkins perform.
That's
Anyway.
funny.
Smashing Pumpkins the ride.
But going back to what JJ said, I think the Pegasus, like your ride vehicle, are the ride vehicles horses themselves, like mechanical horses, or what are we thinking for the ride vehicle for that, for like the original starter horse? Because I think that's a really cool effect that the horse, maybe it is kind of like the Flight of Passage thing that we were talking about, where like it's like Flight of Passage in a way. It's just really hard to do that type of screen technology with like something so earthy as, that's a weird word to use for it, but so like I guess the word is earthy as like Percy Jackson, and it's not, there's no like real technological big prowess in it like Pandora or like Avatar, which there's a lot of technology associated with that. But also mechanical horses would be kind of weird unless you're in a chariot and do kind of the thing where like you have like that scene in the Harry Potter and the we keep relating to Harry Potter, but it's the,
Because Percy Jackson does as well. Let's be real. Percy Jackson has a lot of similarities to Harry Potter.
it's the
Yeah.
Gringotts, the Gringotts ride. At the end of it, how you get chained to a dragon and you get pulled out. It could be similar to where you're in a cart, but you're attached, like Pegasus are attached.
You can
I've
have
never
it
ridden that
sitting-
before.
You're sitting in like a stall, or
I'm kidding.
like a stable
Mhm.
in a chariot, and so you have the chariot, or not the chariot, but like the stable doors open, and
Mhm.
you see like on the screen the horse, and like the kids attach the reins or whatever to the chariot to pull, and so then you start going. It's like a little bit of a motion simulator,
There you go.
and it continues from there.
There you go. That actually
So
works
you're
really well.
riding the chariot. You can have it. They can sit down. You can have the lap bar come down, and then the effects start.
That's actually a really good idea. I like that. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
I like
Uh,
that a lot too. Look at JJ bringing the good ideas
I know he
here.
prepared for this. I mean, this is it's other the only other idea we would that we would definitely do with JJ is Kingdom Keepers, but at that point, let's just do a Magic Kingdom attraction. Guys,
Well,
we're doing an Epcot
this is
attraction.
this is his McDonald Land. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, I was like so passionate about McDonald Land.
Yeah. I honestly
Where-
we haven't done an episode where like I am super nerdy about just yet. Like I've done pretty like Bluey, I guess was the most, but like
Yeah.
I haven't done something where completely because I think all the stuff that I'm really interested in. Actually, there's one thing that we have in common, Brett, that we could do, but I want to do it on a future episode because we have a surprise for you later on. We're not
Yes.
for our viewers later on, but
We do.
they'll figure that out when time comes.
Yes.
But
Stay tuned in
what was I-
weeks.
but I'm trying my best to true as much as I can about Percy Jackson. And so after this, I guess this entrance scene with the motion simulator, I think it's also important that I don't want a lot of the rides that we do on Disattractions to just be pure screens because I feel like screens are overused still. I mean, now we're getting to that point in pivoting where we're sliding away from that, especially with the Tiana's Bayou Adventure actually using animatronics, and Disney now knows animatronics are wanted. And Hagrid's, and now every Epic Universe is going to be absolutely filled to the brim with animatronics.
Yeah.
We're slowly pivoting away, which is great, but still kind of focusing on that. So maybe it'd be really cool if you had physical scenes, and maybe
So-
pull like a King Kong kind of thing where like you can see the ride vehicles from outside of the ride, pull around and stuff.
What I was thinking when you were talking about that, I had the idea if you started out with that screen, like I was saying, right? But you do it like a mixture of the chains from Gringotts.
Mm-hmm.
So you see it put up, and you shoot through, but then you pull like a test track
Mhm.
where the screen moves out of the way, and then you're out on like a track.
Gotcha.
So you could do live scenes with animatronics and stuff, and you have that first like setup scene where it's all on the
Mhm.
screen. You don't really have to do anything, and then you go, and then there's animatronics.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. I'm trying to think of how you would be able to see the Pegasus past the screen once you actually make that initial turn.
That
Yeah.
would
Having the, unless like somehow you have it like, it's some lore where the Pegasus can like disappear, but other than that,
I would say.
what do you think, Brett? This is an answer you need to. Here's a question you will 100% answer with full confidence.
Yes. I think that. Oh. Well, okay. You could somehow make it a bit of like an optical illusion. Hear me out here.
Okay.
You see the Pegasus blast, loaded diaper blast. See the unicorn blast out, kind of like in the Green Gots ride, right? And you blast off. And the moment you go into the next room, the first animatronic you see is that Pegasus, and it's like continuing the path that it started, and then it like lands, and it's like a moving animatronic. You know what I mean?
So like you see it like past, like go into almost like the next room kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're just following the.
I'm
course.
saying if this was to happen, it would be like a marvel in technical engineering. Like no one's ever tried anything like this before. But I'm saying like if the Pegasus, you could see it on the screen blast off, you go into the next room and that animatronic's in that same spot and it's still carrying you.
Gotcha.
Would be cool. That would be like one of those mind-boggling reveals. It'd be a mic drop moment for Imaginary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we can't use Imagineering. That's copyrighted by Disney. We have to do like creative nearing or something like that.
Big brain nearing.
There you go. Just add
Percy
engineering to
Jackson
anything.
nearing.
Literally. You got
Louis
capitalist nearing.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's what they call universal creative behind the scenes.
Either way, somehow,
Ooh.
some technological marvel, there's a way to make it sense that the horses can be seen or not. Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. But anyways, that's not important right now. So you're going through the ride, right? And you're starting off, and things are just a normal tour. Maybe, like kind of said, you're seeing that you're like it's almost like the King Kong thing, where if you're outside the ride, you can see the carriages just kind of go here and there and fro. Not carriages, not carriages.
See a minotaur tearing someone in two, their guts spilling out.
Not like okay, yeah, sure, that'd be great.
You see the strawberry fields, Long Island Sound, nice and peaceful music plays.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then I think you get to a point where like you get outside the woods a little too far, and one of the beasts kind of senses that something's wrong, or like these, like there's a whole bunch of new people. Because I don't know if that's a thing in the books, but the more you're around, I mean, you kind of said like the more you know you're part of a god, the more you start to gain your sense, like kind of what you were saying. Maybe that you kind of not knowing that you're a god, you're part of a god, but knowing that they exist produces that scent or something like that, and that kind of draws them. And so you have basically a mythical chase throughout the area to try to get back to Camp Half-Blood, so you can have a defense, like
go into a lovely show building where they absolutely, again, magical engineering stuff, blast your horse with like fog machine, and then all of a sudden you have a Pegasus, and you're like, oh, gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, is this a roller coaster? Like I was like, what is this? Is this a roller coaster or what is this?
Is it maybe in a sense like Hagrid's or the new Donkey Kong one, where there's show scenes and they're kind of going and you're on top of the track? Maybe not necessarily like a roller coaster, but at the same maybe intensity of like, I don't know, somewhere in between Slinky Dog and Barnstormer, where it's not crazy, but it's enough to like cause some movements, and you're like, I'm going up and down, flying, or the trails or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
I picture, maybe it's because we keep bringing Green Gods, but I picture Green Gods a little bit.
I am drawing a lot of similarities.
Well, honestly, Green Gods is the perfect amount of like a middle between Slinky Dog and maybe I'd say maybe a little more intense than Slinky Dog by a little bit, because that main kind of lean drop, but that's probably the intensity we want from it, honestly. I don't hate Green Gods compared to you, Brett. I'm not gonna have an argument right now with you. I don't think it's bad. I think it's okay.
I think it's mid. I don't think it's bad. I think it's mid.
I think that they could have done so much more with it, but at the same time, that loading station is, I think, one of my favorite loading stations. Man,
it sucks. It sucks to work at.
Oh, I bet it sucks to work at.
It sucks to work that loading station. And I tell you how difficult merge is at Escape of the Green Gods. It is a lot. It'll be like 2 on 6, 2 on 6, and he'll just walk over the one. Okay.
And I understand a fair deal about terrible loading stations, so I get
it.
What was I gonna? What were we talking about? Oh, the roller coaster.
I've been here only working at. I've been here only working at Mission Space.
Yeah,
I had a good load.
Dude, I worked there for almost like 9 months, 10 months. Did my CP, left to go back during school. And then I didn't have to deal with the bull crap that Disney kind of pulls to their employees, so I'm fine. So, but
AJ's still in the beast.
He's in the in the mouse's grasp, actually.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Close where I am specifically, but I do be in the thick of it.
I'm in the thick of it. Everybody
Whoa.
knows.
Wait.
We're doing a KSI part.
Backyardigans part.
Yo. Count me in.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love Backyard.
There you go.
Let's just change the episode right.
Did you see the new Backyardigans episodes and how awful they are?
No, I haven't.
They rebooted it and it looks robotic.
AI.
I don't know if it's AI, but like the characters have no emotion and they look weird.
Cool.
It's like
VeggieTales
the modern deterioration of cereal box characters. Have you seen that lately? They lost all of their character.
No.
They look basic now. A lot of
Weird.
the different cereal box characters or they lost characters. It's interesting. I watched a whole entire friggin' YouTube video essay on it.
Interesting.
Moving on, because that's totally related to Percy Jackson.
Yes.
So I guess it is partly roller coaster, part show scenes. And so when you're kind of going off these roller coasters, obviously you have these monsters have really cool animatronics. So I think it'd be really cool if you had a huge Minotaur animatronic. And my favorite mythological anything in the entire world, seeing a Hydra animatronic would be so sick. There's a reason my name on Discord is Hydra. There's a reason why. I love Hydras. They think they're so cool. But seeing a whole bunch of heads animatronic and I'm trying to remember in Percy Jackson what it was specifically, because in a lot of depictions they spit poison and some they do fire, some they do both poison and fire. What's the depiction?
It was in the movie. It was, I think, fire.
Is that the same thing in the book?
Let's find out.
It's almost like the How to Train Your Dragon, the one that has the gas and the other one lights it. That was a cool idea. One of the heads has the lighter and the other one has the.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was about to say we could do a How to Train Your Dragon section, and I went, oh wait, no, they're actually doing that.
Yeah, they are. I'm excited for that.
Actually, I'm so excited. I was a dragon head. I was a dragon kid. 100%. I was like, the How to Train Your Dragon was like the next series I obsessed over after Percy Jackson. That kind of still carried over to my 20s. I've seen those movies so many times. But also, you know, it'd be fun.
Gotcha.
Sorry, you know, it'd be fun. There's a moment in the ride where like you see Medusa, and you're like, "Don't look at her! Don't look at her! Don't turn to the stone!" You have to like rush the other way real quick.
It's just Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Where it's you look in the eye. Dude, I absolutely harass people if they look at it. When I yell at them when I'm on the ride.
Me too.
What's your opinion on the Indiana Jones ride, JJ? Because Brett hates it.
I don't hate it. I think it's mid.
What's your opinion on it?
My opinion on what?
On the Indiana Jones ride. Brett thinks it's the most mid thing. I love it too.
I love it.
I think Brett's just wrong, but it's okay.
I'm excited for a version of it to come to Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dinosaur more. I like Dinosaur more than the Indiana.
I love Dinosaur, but the state that it's currently in is really, really sad.
They don't fix
it. But it's still fun.
It's very much a Disney thing also to be like, let's not put any money into refurbing it or any sort of like attention to it. And they say, oh, people don't like it. And they complain about it. And then they're like, oh, it's just because they just don't want it. It's like, no, I think it used to be so much better. And it's just been deteriorating over years. Every time I go on that ride, at least 1 or 2 animatronics are not working. Every time.
Yeah, they've like permanently pulled off, I think, 2 or 3 animatronics.
Yeah, there's like they put no money into it and they expect it to do really well without putting any upkeep into it. But oh well. We love it. But we're totally off the tangent again. Trying to think
every episode.
Every episode this happens. It's not uncommon for the Disattractions podcast.
Don't speak for the brand or the company.
There you go.
Let's put a disclaimer.
Disclaimer, we don't speak for the brand or the company.
I'm going to say what your hub ID is right here in the camera.
His perner is give him your shifts.
Why do I have a BR guest shift on Wednesday?
Why am I scheduled to be Bob Iger this Thursday?
Do you remember the time during... How did I not get in more trouble during Track Talk at Mission Space? I would ask the stupidest questions on the face of the planet, and they would just laugh.
I would sprint in and slide on my stomach like a seagull.
Every time, yeah, I remember that.
Time.
Do you remember the time when you're like, "Do you guys have any other questions?" And I raised my hand. I was like, What's Pop Iger's partner number?
It's one.
Also, at the same time, why
What
were
are you
we?
talking about?
I know we were college students, but why were they sitting us down crisscross applesauce in the middle of like an attraction, like almost every night to talk over the day? Like we were like in 4th grade, like every day. Like I was like, we're full college students, or even older than that. Like,
Well, dude, every attraction does that. Like, the ones I do afterwards, they all do that.
it's
Right, dog?
interesting.
We still
Yeah,
look
at Muppet Vision, we
at
did the same thing.
now too. Both of them.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Even custodial sometimes, which is weird.
that's funny.
Well, it'd be the custodial thing. It'd be really awkward because if like you picked up somewhere, you'd be like, "Go to your track talk." Like, I don't work here, but I guess I'll go to the track talk.
That's funny.
All right.
Here are a bunch of things that don't apply to you, but you get to sit for 15 minutes.
For JJ, what? So label kind of every single monster I think you'd want in this
Oh,
the
man.
monster the ride. So like just to have like a list of like what are the top ones you think you'd need to have for a Percy Jackson ride like this.
I don't know how to fit all of them, but I would absolutely love to have a Minotaur. You could see some centaurs, satyrs, dryads. Could do hecatoncheires.
Oh yeah,
This
that'd be
for-
pretty cool.
Maybe not Medusa to not turn into stone, but other gorgons.
There you
Why not
Um,
Medusa? That's an iconic thing.
you see her backside, you just like kind of go by, and she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
uh,
Or
Why
you
is
look
she-
at her and you
But
turn
like
into
doesn't like Percy kill her?
so in the Percy Jackson canon,
Mm-hmm.
you can slay a monster. They're like not necessarily soul, but like their essence returns to Tartarus to reform, and then
Mhm.
they can come back after a certain period of time. So even if
Gotcha.
he kills Medusa, uh, Medusa can come back theoretically.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that makes sense. Then there's no problem with that then.
What else? Some lovely hellhounds like Mrs. O'Leary, his favorite dog.
There you go. Honestly, I was
But-
thinking like the Hecatoncheires one, and like how would you do 100 arm animatronic on the same man?
That's
That'd be
a
pretty
great
cool.
question.
That'd be
Maybe
really
like
cool.
half of- You just see 50 as it starts to turn, and then you're
Dude,
like, oh,
all
nice.
all that arm. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And then how is this gonna resolve? Because you're going through all these things, and you're basically doing this. Oh, there's one. There's another one. There's another monster. We gotta get out of here. Like, oh, we realize. Oh man, this is actually a Greek fanfic. We gotta run out of here.
So maybe what I'm thinking is because we've decided it's like a chariot, right? So maybe there's some extra items on board that the Hephaestus cabin has souped up the chariots with that we aren't necessarily clued into until a little bit later because we already see that something's going amiss. So like we've equipped our chariots with these I don't know flares or something, and like you see little fireworks go off, so it's like kind of cool little spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
But then, what were we saying? You fly in and you get to see your fan favorite character Clarice, with a whole bunch of armor-clad children charging into the woods, and you end with a lovely Annabeth going, "You made it back. I knew you would."
Yeah. Made it back. Knew I would. You brought a new friend back with you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. You made it.
We couldn't have done it without you. You're a hero. Be proud of yourself.
I'm like,
You don't need therapy anymore. You have Universal Studios.
yeah. And then you go immediately to the gift shop. Who's running the gift shop?
Smelly Gabe.
Smelly Gabe. Why is he allowed in there?
Who
He's
let him
not.
in? No, I think you need to have Smelly Gabe as a statue, like he is in like the books in like every form of the media. But his lovely statue is just like on display in like the attic or something. As you
Yeah.
like fly by the big house. But
Smelly.
I'd say
Smelly
maybe
gay meet and greet.
maybe you exit out into like back to the horse stables or something while on the back side, and you just kind of like hop off outside. Maybe there's not a ride,
Gift.
not a ride, a gift shop like right exit out to it, but adjacent to it, like right there.
I like the
Right.
booth at Rise of Resistance. Like Rise of Resistance doesn't make any sense to have a gift shop, so they kind of have it
Yeah.
all outside.
Yeah.
That works. Cool. Oh, and that's the whole idea for that ride. I don't know what name we're gonna give it yet. But we usually never give any names for what we're thinking. We should probably start doing that to make it folly solid. But that's
Yeah.
all. That's,
Chariots of Fire. Wait, that's taken.
You could do like the Stoll Brothers chariot rides or something.
there you go.
Make it kind of gimmicky towards that fair vibe, just for like that attraction, because that's what it's being hosted for. It's like a tour around, so you could have it as like chariot rides.
Full of love.
Well, don't spoil things. That's what we're on to next. Just good segue into JJ's amazing Hephaestus Love boat ride.
Yes.
For those of you that have seen the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus, the lovely boat ride that Percy and Annabeth go on to the tune of "What Is Love," and it shows the entire like lore between Hephaestus and every wrongdoing he's ever had done to him, in like lovely shadow puppets, just going down the river.
Yep. And
This ride is where several children will be conceived in Camp Half-Blood.
they will actually be half-bloods. If you conceive a child on this ride, he will be a half-blood. 100%.
Yes.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We sell contraception at the gift shop. Just in case.
Trojan.
Literally on theme. That's crazy. Not sponsored. That's crazy. I'm sure because, yeah, that is totally on theme. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I know nothing about this idea, so I'm not gonna have any input on it. I think
That was
JJ's the
just-
only one that knows a lot about it.
That was
Honestly.
just a throw out there. It was an idea, lovely. I thought that scene was hilarious in the show. I was like, what if that was just the ride?
Which
I
would be
think
kind
it's
of fun.
fun.
Yeah, we always have to have like
I
a
think it's
successing
funny.
ride that's next to the big T-ticket attendance. We usually have a smaller one that's meant for families or making
You gotta have
families.
that-
Either way.
Yeah, the family ride where you watch this guy just murder a ton of people through shadow puppets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you watch Hera
Culture.
throw this off of a mountain, you know?
Very, very, very personable. This is the last kind of ride I had. This is completely not like canon. I think this is my own head canon I made for an idea. I just think like a really cute idea would be like a really like haphazardly made carousel with all these random like mythical beasts that you can ride on in a carousel. It'd be just kind of fun if you could ride like a chimera, or like you could ride like
A Kraken.
centaur.
I want to ride a Kraken.
Correct.
is,
I want to ride a
is
Kraken.
Kraken Greek?
Hippocamp. Oh, you go by the river in like the Pegasus ride, and you see like hippocamps jumping out of the water.
Oh yeah.
And like, I think it'd just be really, really kind of funny because you just have all the different mythological beasts. I mean, you can ride Zeus for some reason. I don't know why, but like, you have like, okay,
Just like half the Greek world.
yeah, literally. Trojan moment. All right. I guess that's honestly all the rides that we had, but at the same time, I think the Pegasus Sky Tour idea that we have, or whatever that is called, the stable ride, the one
It's
with the
so
horses.
intensive.
I
That's
think
the biggest budget thing we've ever pitched, right?
I'm getting Gringotts slash Forbidden Journey slash Hagrid's vibes on it, like that type of like experience. So I think it's like what's even better than an E-ticket, an F ticket. Like it's an F ticket attraction. Like you know,
It's a G ticket.
G ticket attraction. So I think a lot of time would be spent there. I think a lot of time would also be spent like you could do just like normal since it's a fair or like a thing. You could have like normal like funny Greek themed like little like almost like a Dino-Rama type situation where it's like a fair where you can play different games and stuff. I don't know. We haven't done like a fair thing like that before. So like doing like
Yeah.
you have a problem with that, Brett? You sound like you do.
I'd said this whenever we were talking. I like the idea. I just wouldn't want to lean into it too much where it looked like Dino Land, rest in peace, versus like having the grand theatrical Camp Half-Blood that people wanted to see. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah. You really want
I
to
think you'd have to balance it.
camp
I
half.
wouldn't want carnival games in the middle of Pandora. That's what I'm trying to say.
There.
I guess like you would have to do other things other than just the sky tour, the boat ride, and the carousel. Like what would those be?
If you maybe weren't doing it like the Dinorama games, but as like summer camp activities. So like shoot a bow and arrow. Maybe it's like you get to use the bow
Yeah.
and you load it as there's like a little arrow on like a string that you can shoot down to a target. Something like that. Where it's in the vein of more summer camp that they decided to do as like a game.
You have we could also have Poseidon's splash pad. And like
That'd be kind of
Poseidon's
funny. That's kind of funny.
putting out water for kids to run through. That's kind of cute.
It is cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Ares recruitment, where you go to war.
Yeah, let's go.
Honestly, it'd be really funny if there was a Hephaestus building thing, like a Droid Depot type situation, where you could just build like something fun, and like
Oh, yeah.
like
You
the
could build an automaton or something like
Mhm.
there's a lot of automaton building from Hephaestus in I think Titan's Curse, which is the third book.
yeah, something fun like that. I think that'd be a good idea. Something other than just the rides. We have something else to do as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of wraps up all of our ride ideas. Moving on to food, because food's also important in a theme park as well. You really can't
Pizza.
go wrong.
I'm kidding.
You really can't go wrong with Greek food in a Greek themed area. So you know you have your wonderful gyros and your Mediterranean
Your
food,
What'd you say?
kebabs. Obviously have those really cute lotus cookies in the movie that I've always wanted to eat. We're gonna make them actually really addicting, so you want to stay in the park to spend more money though.
Yeah. We're putting just straight up weed in them.
That's not how
They're
weed
weed
works.
I know everything about weed.
I'm sure you
They're-
do.
You could tell.
Kidding.
What was I gonna say? Also, this is JJ's idea. Something called a blue cart. You want to elaborate on the blue cart?
Sure. I don't know what the actual name would be.
That's just my idea that I have.
Yeah. But in the books and the series as a whole, there's a big emphasis on Percy's love of blue food. So you could have like blue cookies. Sally makes blue pancakes at one point. Blue Jolly Ranchers, blue Sour Patch Kids. Whole bunch of blue food.
Dude, we're wrapping around the blue pancakes. In episode 2, I think it was, you wanted bluey blue pancakes. That was crazy.
I did. I pitched it so hard.
I know you did. And I was like, what's with you obsessing over blue pancakes, Brett? He's like, I want it.
I've had blue pancakes before. They're pretty good.
What's the difference?
But blue food dye in them.
So it just looks blue and it tastes blue?
Yep.
The flavor of
Heck
blue.
yeah,
The
Flavor of blue, and anything tastes better when it's colored. It's kind of like what? That sounded kind of weird.
You know what? Let's work with it. Work with it. So you think more colorful foods in generally taste better?
Yeah.
More vibrant foods?
And more vibrant.
Yeah, it's great.
I agree. I can agree with that. Something looks more delicious when it's very vibrant, like fruit. If it's really not colorful, it doesn't look good to eat. But if it's very colorful, I understand what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Um, but where can we get this Greek food? Honestly, we didn't really talk about this. It's like, what's the themed dining area?
Ooh.
A cafeteria for Camp Half-Blood? That makes sense? Like, just a cafeteria type thing? Where do they
their
eat in the books?
cafeteria is a little bit different. So you have like a dining hall, and they have a giant hearth fire. So whenever they go to mealtime, when it's their cabin's turn, they have to scrape off a section of their food and and burn it as offerings to their parents or the other deities.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that would be incorporated, or maybe as part of the theme, like every so often, almost like as your theme dining experience, like you get to eat at the cabin's tables, but there's like a mini show, kind of like when Woody's Roundup or whatever, the barbecue place does the Annie's Coming thing, but like a little showpiece where the staff brings an offering and they burn it so that you don't have to burn your food.
That's really cool. That's a good idea.
Oh. I love that.
Yeah, and then you have your Greek food and all your stuff there. Maybe they have like, because I think like the cart with all the blue items in it would probably be outside of this, and that'd be separate. Like it's like a butterbeer cart in my opinion, my eye or something like that, where it's separate. And you can sell all the Greek food. You can sell the Lotus cookies. You can sell all the on-themed brand stuff. Like maybe you can have like random drinks that are themed to different, I don't know, gods or something.
Like, themed drinks for like ambrosia, the stuff that they drink to help make themselves feel better.
Yeah. So like that's just fun, well-themed ideas, and I think that's pretty cool. The show is actually a really cool idea, and maybe they do like, maybe that's where later on in the events tab you can do like the showcase of like maybe each of the different groups. I guess that we'll wait till later on that one, but that's pretty much all the food honestly we really have for that one either, because the food is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if you're at a Greek place, you're gonna get Greek food. I mean, that just kind of makes sense thematically.
Greek,
Need
Mediterranean,
pita bread.
a little bit of summer camp.
Summer camp flair. You get some barbecue going.
Pita bread.
Pita bread pizza.
We could just randomly have hot dogs because summer camp.
That's
hot
summer
dogs.
camp. There you go. You get some beanie weenies up in here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You had beanie
Ready.
weenies before, Brett?
Maybe like a themed kind of fruit cart, because you have like the pomegranates for Hades. The camp is disguised with strawberry fields. They have like strawberries and stuff, blueberries because blue fruit.
That's very summer campy, I'd have to say. Kind of sounds yummy right now. I could go for some fruit.
Ooh, I would love a blackberry.
We have a lot
Not
of those.
the phone
actually.
fruit.
We actually have a lot of those growing up this spring. We're gonna have a lot because we haven't. They're actually considered weeds where we're at, like because we have so many. Like I can go outside my house. I can walk over to the corner. I can get blackberries and salmon berries and just yank them.
Portland the ride.
I don't want to go on that. That's crazy. I already been on that ride.
Across the neighborhood.
Literally. It's not that bad, but it can be that bad. What was I gonna say? Moving on, I guess, to merchandise, because we gotta sell stuff, or else we won't make money.
This
for
is
the
an
gods.
idea I just thought of in this one instant.
Got it.
They could do it so that they sell the camp necklaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to like an activity around each of the camp, they give you a bead, because at the end of the summer they each get a bead of the biggest event that happened. So what if, like, kind of like the Wilderness Explorers where you get a sticker book, you could do like a necklace with beads.
That's really
fun.
cool.
I love that.
That's a really good idea, man.
And
Look,
we would have been so lost without JJ in this episode.
Yeah, we would have been. There would have been no way. Yeah, we would have been talking. We would go back to the Plupa 42. We would revert back.
In the Romneyverse.
In the Romneyverse, we still have yet to include him.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that's really probably the best idea now out of all of our merch ideas. You just came up with that right off the dome too. But you have your
That's
Camp
cool.
Half Blood merch, obviously.
Your Yankee caps
Your
that turn you
Yankee
invisible.
caps. You sell the books, obviously. That makes sense because you want people to read the source material. I said kind
You
of
could
play
sell
weaponry, like you could have like
Your
little foam
weapons
swords.
give to children.
plushes of the creatures on the ride too. It makes
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and maybe honestly, it'd be a really cool part about the park is that you could actually learn actual Greek mythology throughout, and maybe there's some sort of
oh, you're gonna
like,
say Greek?
oh yeah, you can just
Duolingo.
learn full fluent Greek. No, but you could learn Greek mythology throughout the whole entire park. So like maybe there's like almost just like the beads. Maybe you can even get a bead for doing like a historian thing where you have like a checklist book where you have to count the gods or whether and you kind of learn what each god kind of represents and what they do in actual Greek mythology that we have, not in just the universe of Percy Jackson, but just as like historical accounts, because it'd be really cool because you could have education when it comes to that as well,
Really
not as
cool.
only fantasy, kind of a little bit at the Epcot type of route where you add in education a little bit in there.
You can really throw in some of those minor gods that don't get talked about a lot, like Hygeia or Asclepius or Nyx,
Yeah,
Hypnos.
some fun stuff, and it's just kind of interesting because it could be like, I'm thinking like you have areas kind of like that. Honestly, the coolest part about Norway Pavilion is the little god pavilion, little house that they have in there because
They-
Maelstrom's gone, and that made me sad. But that's like the coolest part of Norway now. Oh, he's crying. Give him a minute.
I'm crying. I loved Milestones, my favorite ride.
It's yeah, it's
And it was so cool, and then they replaced it with Frozen, and it's lame.
yeah, and so kind of that type of theme where like you can go learn the actual Greek gods. I mean, there's a lot of them. Like it's not one way or the other, but you could have just a basic introduction for people that may not know 100% about actually kind of where these things come from and what they mean. Yeah, this world's really now coming together just now after all of the extra stuff. Now it's just the beads, and that's just
Yeah.
really cool.
That's really cool. It's like a museum too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This feels like more so should be in Epcot than most of the things they're adding to Epcot.
No, literally, I could see it because it actually makes sense. I want a mythology theme park. Like I've said this for years. Section out like different mythological things into different universes because oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
You gotta save that for a big episode when you do
Yeah.
a whole park instead of a land.
I wanted to do like separated episodes of like doing mythological stuff. It takes a lot of studying, and I don't know how much Brett is willing to do that. Maybe it's a me and JJ spin-off episode where we meet.
Ow! Whoa! You just threw me on a little bus there.
Yeah,
Brett doesn't like to study.
I don't know
Too
what you
busy.
want. It's not a movie,
I will
He's too
come
busy
back.
watching Impractical Jokers. What are you talking about?
dude. They were playing that in the break room the other day, and it was not the thing to play.
Like,
Impractical Jokers.
It was
right.
It was a rerun of when Mur gets a prostate exam. But
AJ, what were you
I think I want to really do a series where we do a mythological theme park because there's just so much potential there.
I want the Mothman ride to be a thing.
And that's what
I love the Moth-
that's gonna be a whole separate idea. Is cryptozoology the park? That's separate, and then you got
Yeah.
mythology of the park because
Mhm.
cryptozoology doesn't mean they don't exist. They just don't exist yet.
And you have where the wild things are in the park. For me,
The whole park.
yes.
Oh wow. We'll do that. But yeah, I think that's a really cool. I think it's a really good idea to do that whole entire, because Greek mythology is really heavy, and Roman's it's off the same. It's kitty corner to Greek, very much different, but there's a lot of similarities.
they run almost parallel to each other.
Yeah. They said I like what the Greeks are doing. Let me grab that real quick. And you have
also
Norse doing its way own thing up north. You got
Norse, Egyptian, you have
Mhm.
Celtic mythology, you have early Germanic mythology, whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, early Buddhist Taoist mythology. You got, early
Shintoism,
Japanese. Yep.
the
There's so
Hindu,
much you can
Hinduism.
do. It's just, and like we got to rebuild Everest and put that in the cryptozoology park
Correct.
with the um with the Yeti and actually make him work.
Yeah.
Moving on to events because we got way off topic, but honestly not too off topic because it's all mythology.
Yes.
Is there's
Mythology.
for the events, what we or JJ mentioned or did you mention it, Brett? You might have mentioned it, Brett. I'm trying to remember who did. The Who's Your Spirit type deal where you go up and you learn who
Right.
your spirit is.
Oh, I pitched it.
You did? Okay.
It'd be a trivia show called "Who's Your Daddy?"
Right, that's what it
You would
was.
answer 10 questions, and you would place you to who is your secret biological father, and what JJ mentioned, and or mother.
Dude, that's just a Maori show. You know who the Maori
It's the
show
Jerry,
is?
yeah, or Jerry Springer show, but in Percy Jackson.
You are the father.
I think that could be fun though.
In the case of this child who just came here on vacation, whose dad is actually sitting here right now.
You ain't his dad.
His dad, Zeus is.
Yeah.
No, another one.
Not another one. I promise, honey, I didn't sleep with Zeus. I promise. Divorce the ride. And that was one of the cool things. But I think that then after you said the Who's Your Daddy trivia show, then JJ kind of said, it would be really cool if it was like the spirit animal thing at Redwood. Is it Red Creek or Redwood? Red Creek.
Trail
Redwood
at
Creek Trail.
California Adventure.
Where you just
Yes.
kind of, I think that makes a lot more sense than a Who's Your Daddy trivia show.
It's just like that old game show at the Visitor Center at a Universal at Jurassic Park, where it's like the old '80s game show, and like it's just all out of whack.
Yeah. They take that really cursed picture of you and make you a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next one on our events was this was originally before we created the idea of like they're trying to keep their powers under wraps, but it was a showcase power of different the different groups of the camp. Maybe we can switch that to make something to make more sense.
You could
Yeah.
have that they do that and they showcase their power, but maybe they're trying to make it look like it's a gimmick or like just enough, like it's like fake added extra bits as special effects when it's really not.
Yeah, you could. I also think you could also not just do the power, but like maybe that is like a part of the history lesson to get one of your beads, is they do different historical things and they start reading different mythological stories or something, or maybe they recount things that happened from Percy Jackson in his past with the mythological beings in his past, and they kind of maybe it's part of the show that when they do an offering they recount some stories that Percy did on his adventures or something, or just
Who was
maybe not just,
responsible?
huh?
Who was responsible for the Ploop of 42?
Mitt Romney.
It
It was when Mitt Romney and Grimace kissed each other back in 42.
Oh man.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. All right, you get one bead.
Get one bead. It's shaped like it's purple Grimace, but like it's like the child of Grimace and Romney. It's Gromney, dude. Gromney.
Romney bead. I kind of want to Photoshop.
Gromney bead.
I think that another event you could do like a mini like showcase of like the heroes of Olympus characters, like the Romans. They have a little bit of a small exhibit just to like throw them in there.
Mm-hmm. There you
Ooh. But also, so I went to this place called Evermore. It doesn't exist anymore. There's a whole
Paramore.
thing Evermore.
go. Paramore.
Right into my mic. Anyways, there was this like thing where there was a guy and he was holding a dragon. You could like pet a dragon. You can have that with like it's a fair, but they have like mythological creatures they're holding like as puppets, and you could like mess with them and stuff like that, like dragons and Mothman, not really Mothman, but you know,
Oh yeah, the
little
famous
feet.
Greek legend of the Mothman. Oh
Like
my
you could
god.
like you could like have like little puppeteers have like little
Yeah.
like monsters that you could pet. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, like, oh, it would be kind of fun.
Greek monsters.
And then you have your meet and greets,
Meet and greets.
which makes sense.
Rover, Annabeth, Percy, Clarice, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory for me. I feel like we should stop saying meet and greets because that's just kind of a given now with every single thing we do.
Yeah. We're doing a Percy Jackson dance party.
Oh shoot! Brett said he was retired from dance parties. Are you not?
Maybe not. Maybe I'm.
Oh
feeling
my
the dance.
gosh! Okay, pitch the casino dance party right now. That's the next on the list.
They
You
only
gotta
play songs from Lady Gaga's album Born This Way, and they dance them over 30 minutes. It's not just Poker Face, it's also Born This Way. It's also... What other songs are on that album? I don't care about that album. Why did I pitch this?
Dude, it's a great dance party. You're the dance party
Yeah.
king, dude.
It's also a cross-promotion with Joker 2, a movie no one saw. She'll dress up as Harley Quinn and actually come out.
Come out like on stage.
Yeah, like she'll just say, I'm gay, and
out.
I'll be like, yeah,
Yeah.
we know.
I want the world to know. That's funny. Okay, you got the dance party out. Good. You pitched it. You got it out of your system.
Yeah.
That is
Sorry.
absolutely everything.
I
that
feel
we
like
have
I've
for you.
been useless on this episode, and for that I apologize.
No, I feel like I've been just JJ's been the head, but honestly, that's how it should be because it's the guest. We should.
So Kevin and I are retiring. This is JJ's podcast.
Yeah,
man.
no, we're retiring.
if I-
We already
You
got. We accomplished our mission when they copied the Bluey dance party thing.
Yeah.
So
So we actually already got copied once by
Yeah.
Disney. For something we pitched, and then 2 weeks later they pitched it.
yeah, yeah, we're retiring now. It's just gonna be called the JJ Disattractions now. JJ's own
This
Disattractions.
is going to be called the Attractions Podcast.
The Attractions
be
Podcast.
Happy to come
Not to be
back,
confused
but
with-
it's not mine.
Uh,
He doesn't want the weight of our 9 viewers.
yeah.
Hey, it's steadily
Listeners.
increasing. I saw one episode got like 24 views.
Let's get it, dude. Now Disney was one of them.
Yeah. 24? There was like that many people in my class in 3rd grade.
That's crazy.
That
dude.
many people watched our video, man.
That's crazy.
I gotta see what you're at now.
Our best episode was the first one, I think, on YouTube at least. It was Sonic, and we got like 50 views.
Yeah, it's at 53
What happened?
right now.
Well, you know what's going to bring people back if we did a ride based off the Shifting Gears, the new sitcom by Tim Allen on ABC.
That is completely random. Is that gonna be after Marriage Story?
Yeah, Marriage Story is a ride.
I love that.
Cool. So let's wrap up our thoughts. I mean, we kind of just wrapped them up. What is the probability? What is the Disattractions approved probability rating for a lot of this stuff? Since you're the guest, why don't you go first, JJ?
I'd say we're doing it like one at a time.
Yeah. So
overall.
well, we can just go through. Honestly, we can just do like the Pegasus ride. What would you give that? And scope to the park. So like if there were to be a Percy Jackson attraction, a park, if it was going to happen, would it have a Pegasus ride? Kind of like what we were talking about. Would it not?
I think that a Camp Half-Blood area as a whole is like an 8 out of 10. Like, it's bound to happen at some point. A Pegasus attraction, I'm gonna give that like a 5 or a 6, because it could be a good use of. Maybe it's not that, but the use of a Pegasus as an attraction is probably more likely than not.
Yeah, and then we got the Festus Love Boat ride.
That's probably like a 2.
Two on the Festus Love
Like,
Boat
like
ride.
1 or a 2, probably highly unlikely. A boat ride maybe might be a bit higher, but I don't think the Festus Love attraction is the way they're going about it.
And then also we got the carousel that I pitched.
I'd say that's pretty high. I give that like a 6 or a 7. A carousel.
Yeah, you were very determined to get a carousel in there, so I appreciate your dedication to that.
Mine? Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. We haven't done
Um,
a carousel yet, and carousels. I mean, there wasn't anything for like people that didn't want to either make a family or like fight against like
Fighting
monsters. So like I think we gotta add carousel somewhere in there. All right, the next thing is the Greek food and like the lotus cookies and stuff.
that's probably around like a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, like
I-
and the dining area
food and
being
Greek
the
food is probably pretty high. High. Ooh.
cool. And then the cart that sells all the blue food, that is another one.
That's if there's a Percy Jackson attraction and like associated area, that's like a 9 or a 10. Blue food is something that has to happen.
If it doesn't, that's a problem type deal.
It's a big problem.
Yeah. Okay, then all of the merch that we have, we can just kind of lump this all because it's very similar. The Camp Half-Blood merch, the Lightning Bolt, the necklaces you were talking about, the Yankee caps, the books, the weaponry, all of that being sold.
Probably around I'd say, depending on the item, anywhere from a 6 to an 8.
Yeah, I mean, you can specifically talk about the necklace since honestly that's probably the
necklace
most strong contender.
The necklace idea is how we have it. It's probably like a 6 or like a 5 or a 6. It's not like super common, but it is a possibility and it's a cool idea.
It is a cool idea.
The shirts, books are probably in like the higher like likelihood, like 10. But stuff like phone weapons, 7, 8.
Gotcha. And then for the events, who's your daddy / spirit god goddess? I'm gonna go with the one that you pitched, JJ. Unless Brett, you really want to go forward with this trivia show, the Who's Your Daddy Maori show.
Use your daddy show.
In a sense of who's your daddy, probably like a 4. Give it the benefit of the doubt. And the way that I have it, probably like a 5 or a 6.
Gotcha.
Because
And then
knowing your godly parent is a big part of the overall culture of Percy Jackson, so it's probably pretty high.
And then I guess I'm gonna consider this the food show. I mean the recounting of the stories of Percy Jackson, or just in mythology in general, and the food sacrifice thing.
I give that one like a 6. Mythology is the basis of Percy Jackson, so I mean, recounting certain stories is probably pretty high up there.
Yeah. And then the meet and greets that's pretty solid, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Brett's Super Fantastical Casino Dance Party featuring Lady Gaga from Joker 2.
10.
11.
11. They're making it next year. It's gonna
That's
happen.
actually gonna happen. Actually, at Animal Kingdom,
Actually, already exists.
it's actually got torn down already. It happened. It is a Defunct Land episode.
It's like a 15 at that point. It already lived its
And
life.
that's everything. Honestly, okay, your turn, Brett. You can go and rate them all. Do you want me to go through the list again, or can you just start plowing?
I'll start plowing. I'll start plowing and rowling.
Do it, dude. Go ahead.
But if I start messing up, just for the ride
Yes.
itself, probably be a little too expensive. But you never know. The carousel area, what am I talking about? The Pegasus ride. I can't speak today. The Pegasus ride. I would go for like maybe a 5 or 6. Camp Half-Blood. If you made a Percy Jackson area, it's Camp Half-Blood. That's a 10. Like if we're looking at the criteria of, like, it has to be right. The Tunnel of Love ride.
Oh yeah.
It's like 12. No, it's like a 1. That would not happen, but it's fun. Carousel. Again, I don't think Camp Half-Blood would have like a carousel in it. I'd give it like a 4.
Right.
The blue food makes sense. You could give it like a 7. Greek food like a 9. I mean, obviously we already said it's Greek.
It's Greek yogurt stand.
Greek mythology comes with pita bread. That's what they say.
Just make
By
that a
they
shirt.
mean me. As far as shows go, Who Is Your Daddy show? Um, the entire idea I think would make sense because, like JJ said, it's ingrained in the culture of the entire book series. So I'd give it like maybe a 6 or a 7. Um, uh, we do like a capture the flag type show, or did we skip that?
We didn't really mention it.
Okay, well,
You can pitch it right now in 5 seconds.
show where two competing teams like capture the flag and you cheer for them. I would give that like a 7 or an 8, honestly, because that's such a part of the show as well. What else am I missing?
You're missing all of the merch.
Merch? Oh yeah, merch is like a 10. Like, of course you would sell Camp Out Blood
And
shirts
specifically the necklace, because I think that's probably the most different from them.
specifically the necklace is more like an 8, but I feel like they could do something like that. It'd be pretty.
Oh,
Pretty
and then you missed, I guess, the meet and greets. That's pretty similar.
Yeah, same thing. Like
And then
8, 10.
then the dinner show, the food show that they have.
Yeah, I mean that's probably more like a 6.
6.
And then the dance party with Lady Gaga.
I was gonna say the super amazing Brett's dance, like Greek casino dance party featuring Lady Gaga from Born This Way.
13.5. 13.5.
13.5. Gotcha. I'm gonna quickly blast through this myself because I think it's pretty. I honestly very similar to what you guys are saying. Pegasus, the ride, 6 or 5. I would say either here or there. Love Boat Ride. I'm gonna say an 8 on that one. They could not make a ride like a land and not do that.
Good. I like the dedication.
Carousel, yeah, it's probably a 2. Too simple. Yeah. Greek food, that's pretty high, 8 or 9. Blue cart, like with the food and everything like that, or having blue food in general. I don't know in the scope of Percy Jackson, but I will trust you guys, and I'll say it's pretty. If they don't have it, that's kind of weird. So I'm gonna say that's 8 or 9. Lotus cookies, I think that's pretty easy. I think that's pretty something that would happen. Like all that, that's entitled with the Greek food, so I guess that's a 9 too. All the merch is pretty par for the course, so probably like 9. The necklace, I'd probably give that a 7, even though how much I want that to happen. The Who's Your Daddy / Spirit thing, Brett's is probably, in the way he's framing it, probably a 2. The way that JJ's framing it, I'm gonna say that's an 8 because that makes way more sense. You're not gonna have a giant dedicated show about about a fake lineage like that you do or don't have. And then the showcase power different, or like the dinner show that they have. I think that could be done. I mean, if they do it every single meal before they eat, that just makes sense thematically. I don't know why they would, if they would do something like that. Maybe it's not the exact way we're thinking, but something related to that. And then meet and greets are a 10. The super mega amazing Brett casino dance party featuring J. Cole / Lady Gaga amazing dance party on a cruise is probably a 12.5.
I never pitched it on a cruise, but I'm into it.
Oh, you didn't pitch your show, JJ.
Oh,
do it.
I'm part of a group called the KK Rewritten at the moment. Kingdom Keepers Rewritten. It is a Let's Read where we do the Kingdom Keepers books as an audio drama of the original, not the rewrites of the books. We're currently working on getting those back up and running. We've got, I want to say, 3 or 4 episodes that have been out for a while, and we're hoping to get the rest of them cooking here pretty soon. So you can check those out.
Do you have any sources or links to what that is, like a website or like a social media page I can link to? There's YouTube channel.
I can try to provide you with.
Yeah, just send me a link and I'll post it in the description for our podcast so people can go check that out. It'll be in the description below if you want to go check out the Kingdom Keepers Let's Read because they've been working hard on it, I'm sure.
I play Finn, the main character.
There you go. Yeah, just up the main character, and I think it's really cool. A lot of fan projects like that are really, really cool, and so go check it out if you have some time. Really do.
Absolutely. We are fans here. We appreciate fans. The Disattractions
of course.
Podcast.
And thank you, JJ, for coming on the podcast and being the first guest. on
Yes.
Disattractions history.
By far and away, like one of our smoothest episodes because
No.
it wasn't just
Legitimately.
yeah.
I think it's because we've been like, especially since we've been recording them at times where we get right off work. And then there's a couple times where we're getting right off work and we're just dead tired. I feel like maybe we
Yeah.
should start recording some of them more in the mornings on sometimes, so we're more fresh in the brain more than at the end of the day when we tend to record them.
Yes.
But it went really smoothly, honestly. We went on some side tangents. All the side tangents we did usually related to mythology one way or another, somewhat. So it still was all in the realm. So again, thank you,
It wasn't
JJ,
us
for
talking
joining
about
us.
the Loop of 42, right?
Yeah, the Flip of 42, dude. Is there any like socials you want to plug at all, or you just want to just do the let's read or anything like that? If you want to just, if you don't want to, that's totally fine.
My socials I got Instagram and TikTok. Instagram is Rabbit Cosplay 115, and I think it's the same for TikTok too.
Sweet. Brett, do you want to plug anything while you're here? You working on
Actually,
anything
you know
fun?
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I'm working on a lot. I'm not even like kidding. So I have another podcast called Workshopping Humanity. I've had it for a long time. It's also a website. And me and my friend Jared are doing kind of a retooling of it. It's going to be a discussion on pop culture in a way of kind of, how do I describe it? We're going to be media critics of pop culture because that needs to happen. We're essentially trying to say media literacy because it's pretty rough. And so, like, we'll start talking about not only, like, reviews, but we'll start analyzing, like, controversies with AI. And we're talking about, like, the awards season and how crazy Amelia Perez is and stuff. Like, the stuff like that. And so if you want to check that out, that is Workshopping Humanity. It's a whole website. Workshoppinghumanity.com. You can check it out. We write reviews on there. I also have A1 and A2 Productions, which is a short film house. Well, it's not a short. It's going to become more than that. But right now we're posting short films on there. It's kind of a production house for several of my projects when it comes to films, and then potentially music coming up too. Stories like that. I'm actually in the process of making a variety show. A lot of it's going to be shot in Orlando. So it will probably be coming out towards the fall. So there's so many. I wear myself thin. I keep myself way too busy. I'm tired, but it'll be cool.
Cool.
How about you,
Uh,
Kev?
I don't really have anything to plug right now. Except I am working again on this podcast, and I kind of wanted to go forward thinking of not only leading this podcast to just be Disattractions only. I want Disattractions to not just be the same type of episode every time. I want to try to talk about current landscape of theme parks, and then as well as past of theme parks, because I mean, this is a personal thing. I think there's been a shift in the way theme parks are designed in the last couple of years versus to, it's very IP content based rather than what it was when it was very much different, at least for Disney. And then now with Epic Universe and Universal almost taking up the step as one of the better theme parks or theme park creators in the industry, there's a lot of different stuff we could talk about in Disattractions. I'm going to try to go and branch out and start to think about a lot of different days we can talk about. And I want to really try to focus in on doing making it multimedia. So I want to really I'm trying to recruit some artists to try to draw out some of the ideas that we have. And I think it'd be really cool if we have some physical media props, or not props, but like ideas. Would be really cool if we had someone who can look back at our explanation on our Sonic ride or whatever, and gave some like cool concept art sketches and stuff like that for this attraction. So we have a really cool website, or we have really cool whatever. So that when people look at it, it's like it's not just us talking about it. There's like physical stuff that's like that the collective is Disattractions as a whole.
I mean,
so
again,
I guess
I think we should take like a Disattraction trip to Epic Universe and talk about all that.
And
I
so
support it. Y'all should do that.
Yeah.
And so it's I want to try to make it, and again I want to have more guests. I want to try to put way more effort into Disattractions than just putting out bi-weekly episodes. I want to try to do something more to make it a bigger thing than just that. And so I guess that's my plug: is keep watching Disattractions and stay tuned, because next episode, it's not next episode, but maybe the one after that. I'm trying to remember which one it is. There's in the next couple months, next month, there'll be a big episode. So we'll work hard on that to make everything is working out.
Yeah,
well.
there's gonna be like it'll be cinema.
It'll be literally
Cinema.
Scorsese. This is cinema.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And this is Kevin Gwynn signing out. You can do your goodbyes if you want.
Adios, amigos.
After a while, crocodile.
All right, bye guys. Have a good rest of your day.